So in case you've been living under a rock for the past decade, the biggest anime of our generation has ended. Attack on Titan. And with its ending, there has been a lot of discussion about multiple controversial scenes, but the biggest question that seems to linger around all of these scenes is, what were Eren's goals and did he accomplish them? Short answer, he accomplished his uber complex goals. Now hold up, before you go down and comment, let's refresh our memories on Eren's goals. Before we discuss his goals though, it is important to see if his goals were actually his goals, because if we go back to the first moment of Attack on Titan, we see that Eren had witnessed his entire life in a dream. Before we discuss if this shaped his goals, we should first figure out who sent him these memories. Was it Ymir or future Eren? Because each option has different implications. After doing some research, the evidence supports it being Ymir, with the biggest piece of evidence supporting this being the first chapter / episode title being To You 2,000 years from now. This implies that someone 2,000 years ago sent a message forward in time. Considering Ymir is 2,000 years in the past and the phrase to you is directed at Eren, it has to be Ymir. And if we look at the moment Eren finally meets Ymir, he questions if she was the one who led him to the paths, coincidentally in a chapter named From You 2,000 years ago, indicating that Eren is finally responding to her message by giving her the option to be a slave for eternity or to end the world. And with this freedom Eren granted her, Ymir decides to end it all. Now, you've probably noticed that this is similar to Eren's goal of wiping out humanity, so back to the first question. Did the future memories Ymir sent to Eren shape his goals? No. Eren was Eren before Ymir sent any memories to him. If we flash back before Eren had his dream to when Armin had shown Eren the beauty of the outside world, we can see where it all began. Eren was not captivated by the world Armin showed, rather he was engulfed by the idea that these landscapes, this beautiful scenery, used to be accessible to humanity but was taken away from them. The Titans had robbed humanity of its freedom. This explains why Eren wasn't captivated by seeing the sea at the end of season 3 like Armin Mikasa and only looked forward to the new enemy across the sea. Because if his goal was truly to just appreciate the beautiful landscapes and all of that, you know, he wouldn't be looking so depressed out here. Also in the finale, he wasn't captivated by the landscapes he and Armin had seen as a kid. Instead, he was focused on Armin. He wanted to see Armin's reaction to seeing this beautiful scenery. From what we see, Armin was happy and enjoying it, similar to how Eren was happy when he was viewing that beautiful sky. However, these two moments are not the same. Armin had no deeper meaning to appreciate this scenery. He appreciated it for what it is, a beautiful scenery and nothing more. For Eren, this scenery represented freedom. There were no Titans, no humans, and no walls. There was nothing that could prevent him from seeing this sight. This was his freedom. This is why Eren aimed to eliminate all the Titans and destroy the walls. It was why he wanted to join the Survey Corps. Eren wanted to do all of this, not Ymir. So yeah, those were all of his goals until... This moment changed everything. In the first 3 seasons, Eren's main goal was simple. Eliminate the Titans and leave the walls, and bam, he and his people are free. Now go to season 4 and eliminating all the Titans meant eliminating all Eldians because all the Titans were Eldians. Now let's say Eren skips eliminating all of the Titans and decides, you know what, I just want to leave the walls. Well, unfortunately, the rest of the world hates Eldians with a passion. Eren would later find out that the Eldians that weren't in the walls were all trapped in Marley and used as weapons of destruction against other countries, which by the way Marley used against Paradis as they spammed thousands of Titans at them for 100 years. So humanity Humanity hated the Eldians because they were consistently being attacked by them. Marley hated the Eldians and conquered them, and Eldians hated other Eldians because the Marley ones were brainwashed to believe the Paradis ones were devils, and the Paradis ones indirectly hated them because the Titans were ruining their lives. So there was no freedom for Eren and the Eldians outside of the walls. The beautiful world Armin showed to him didn't exist, so the only option left for Eren was to wipe out the rest of humanity. Wait a second, is this the face of a man who wants to wipe out humanity? No, it isn't. That's because this wasn't what Eren originally wanted. And because the situation has changed, Eren could have stopped and chosen a different option. He could go with Zeke's euthanization plan, Armin's non-aggression pact, or abandon it all and live his last 4 years in peace with Mikasa. But come on now, this is Eren we are talking about, the man who fights for his freedom for his people. No matter what changes, Eren will keep moving forward. Even if it means losing it all, because by starting the rumbling, it would satisfy his desire and bring him closer to the unoccupied world Armin had shown him as a kid. But what about his people, the ones he was fighting for? Would this option satisfy them? For the Jaegerists, this was the best option, but they don't make up the entire Eldian population. Speaking of the rest of the Eldian population, what about his friends' feelings? Well, sorry Eren fought for his friends' believers, he wasn't fighting for them. Wait, let me rephrase that. Eren fought for his people and his friends, but put his desires over them. He was selfish. For example, he consistently put his friends in harm's way and refused to discuss other options with them. Yet he granted them the freedom to stop him and warned them about his plans. This shows that he knows many Eldians won't agree with him, because who wants to live in an unoccupied world if it's all covered in blood? However, just because he gives them the freedom to stop him, it doesn't mean that he's going to give up on his desire for freedom, because he wanted all of this. Despite the atrocious crimes against humanity he would commit, the friends he would kill, his desire to live a long life, and how much mental anguish this put on him, he kept moving forward to bring his version of freedom to his people. And he succeeded. He indirectly gave everyone his version of freedom. Yes, he didn't destroy everything and he died in the end, but he completed his goals to achieve freedom. 80% of humanity had been wiped out and they couldn't retaliate against the Eldians anytime soon. All the Titans were eliminated, meaning they wouldn't have to live in fear or have to eat each other to preserve their power. The physical walls around Paradis had been destroyed, meaning his people could leave the walls. And with the Eldians being the ones to kill Eren, they were regarded as international heroes of the world, so they no longer had to fear leaving the walls and being discriminated and hated. And with all of this being accomplished, the Eldians could explore the world with no worries of Titans or humanity attacking them. They could experience Eren's freedom. And before I end this video, there is one more thing I need to mention. Just because Paradis gets bombed 100 years later, it does not mean that Eren failed. Okay, not gonna lie, I'm being a little generous in saying 100 years. Realistically, Paradis had 60 to 80 years of peace, judging by Mikasa's death scene. If we look at how old she was during the rumbling, she was around 20 years old, and considering she died peacefully, probably from old age, she would have lived for another 60 to 80 years, meaning there was at least 60 to 80 years of peace. And if we be generous and say that they had a little bit more time of peace after she died, another 20 years, we could say it was 100 years. Even then though, none of this should matter because Eren fought for the freedom of his people, not to establish peace with the rest of the world. So Eren didn't fail. It was just his people failed with the freedom he gave them, which ended up with them getting nuked. So now that I've said my piece, I'm heading out, but before I do that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck with me, even though I haven't posted for the last few months, but I will make up for it, so stay tuned. And for anyone celebrating Christmas in the next few days, have a great Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, if you want to make my Christmas great, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more anime and manga content and leave a like on this video, as it will truly help me out and I will appreciate it. So see you on the next video. Peace.